Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now February 27th of 2021, and ever since the very end of The Mandalorian Season 2 and the Gina Carano fired situation, a lot of fans around the world have been very much skeptical about the future of Star Wars by Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and others out there, George Lucas, by the way, and exactly whether or not they're going to be able to really move Star Wars in the right direction. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Star Wars right now, one thing about Disney, is that Lucasfilm as a company is going through a very rough patch. The Star Wars fans that are very fed up and very much up in arms over the Gina Carano firing are not letting, up. They're not backing off on this. And Lucasfilm's getting very intimidated by that. They're getting very much put in a pressured position, and honestly, mindly, that's the way that it should be. They have not yet made an official statement about the entire situation. Kathleen Kennedy refuses to do that, and that just shows us the lack of leadership over at that company. Whether it be Kathleen Kennedy or other higher-ups over at Lucasfilm, you have this divide. This has all been confirmed now. There is a divide within the company where a handful of employees are more sided with John and Dave, and other employees are more sided with Kathleen Kennedy. So this is a big deal because it's quite ironic. Not only does the fandom have a division, but also Lucasfilm as a company. Now, beyond all of this, everything related to Kathleen Kennedy, a lot has been going on in the past couple of days. March 9th, by the way, it's going to be a big day for Disney, the shareholder meeting. We do know that the top shareholders are very angry and very much unsettled over the fact that Lucasfilm handled the firing of Gina Carano so poorly and how it created such a big backlash. Now, with that being said, of course, given that The Mandalorian Season 3 is now in development, both Disney and Lucasfilm have been invested in developing their new projects, such as Kenobi and Ahsoka by John and Dave Filoni. However, since the firing of Gina Carano, many setbacks have been put in place behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm that are causing some minor problems. When it all comes down to Kathleen Kennedy, however, it's best described that the Disney CEO is forming a plan to fire Kathleen Kennedy early on before she is set to leave Lucasfilm. Bob Chapek, the CEO, is creating a plan to fire Kathleen Kennedy if an official statement about Gina Carano is not presented by her, explaining the mishandling of how Gina was let go from the Mandalorian series. Kennedy is said to know about this firing plan by Disney and that she is very on edge and pressured on whether or not she wants to make the presentation to the Star Wars fandom, as it would hurt her pride and what she believes in. Kennedy is in fact described to have no remorse firing Gina and is being told to not necessarily make an apology about the firing itself, but an apology, of course, of how she was fired, of how she actually fired Gina by letting her go on social media, which many fans, of course, saw this as the lowest of low for a company that runs Star Wars. Bob Chapek is putting tons of pressure on Kathleen Kennedy before March 9th, the shareholder meeting that is set to express the shareholders' take on everything Star Wars and especially the Carano situation. And many shareholders, mind you, are very unhappy with the way things happen, especially the top shareholders of Disney. Now, Gina Carano, surprisingly, is also set to unveil new secrets of her firing this March, in mid-March specifically, to a brand new interview, of course, with a yet-to-be-announced media outlet that will take fans by surprise. Now, let's stop right here for 1 second. Now, the fact that we have Gina Carano setting up a brand new interview to talk a little bit more about her firing and her experience being employed at Lucasfilm, we're going to learn more about Lucasfilm in depth. The latest interview by the Daily Wire really gave fans a bit more of her side of the story, word for word, showing her emotions, what she went through. And like I say, guys, everybody has their opinion. Everybody has their, own take on how Gina Carano handled her own social media posts. I understand that. That's a part of being human, after all. We all have our own opinions, which, by the way, is all welcome here below in the comments. But one thing I gotta say that is very, very important is for a company to stay professional. And that is something that Lucasfilm lacks and has lacked since Kathleen Kennedy took over back in 2012. It's all just gone downhill from that point on forward. Kathleen Kennedy does not care about leadership skills. She does not care about being a person to look up to or being a person to take responsibility at that. She's not that type of person. She's just the type of person that just wants to do as she pleases and just move on and forget about the past. Hence her interview at one point in time where she said there is no source material of Star Wars when it comes to Legends. There's no source material. There's no past books. There's no past comics. Just flat out saying that. That's what Kathleen Kennedy said. When you have hundreds, if not thousands, of Star Wars Legends material all bundled together between the 90s and the 2000s. So, apart from all of this, this plan to fire Kathleen Kennedy by Disney is putting a lot of pressure on Kathleen Kennedy. Thankfully it is. It's going to be interesting to see, where this leads us, the fandom, and exactly how Kathleen Kennedy is going to make that official statement to the Star Wars fandom about Gina Carano. Now, do I believe that she is going to do this? It is a very big deal, because if she does not do this eventually, Disney is, yes, planning to let her go, because this is having a major effect on how fans view Disney as a company. People out there, I don't know if you guys have heard, but people out there, yes, are not only canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions, they're canceling their Disney vacations over the entire situation. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's up to everybody out there, but that's what people are saying. Now, if that is actually happening, that is bad for Disney, and we all know that they are very much on edge here, because it not only has an effect on Star Wars, it also has an effect on Marvel when it comes to loss of subscriptions on the Disney Plus platform. They still got a lot of Marvel content and Star Wars content coming out next year, and that's what they really want to bank on. They're really banking on Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, those are their two big successful franchises, and they want to really bring Star Wars up and up. So, here's the thing about Kathleen Kennedy. The fact that she knows about this entire plan for Disney to fire her if she does not make any kind of statement at all, be it in an article, in an interview, or her on a camera, whatever it may be, they are pressuring her to make an official statement, and if she does not do that, they are going to let her go well early before she is done over at Lucasfilm, and that's exactly what they plan to do right now. Chapek has been trying to form this for quite a long time now, and now he has a legitimate reason to do so, because this is reflecting on Disney and their image. It's also reflecting on other franchises like Marvel, and how Disney handles that. So, like I say, this is a very, big problem for Kathleen Kennedy. She has to take responsibility. She has to talk about why, Lucasfilm did what they did and the way that they did it. And that's what they have to do. And that's exactly what Kathleen Kennedy is being put in a position to do in order to keep her actual title as president. Now, the thing about Chapek is that he is also trying to create his own legacy, and I respect that. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.